17th of November, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashava with Rashi.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Everything okay with you, Lou? Helps. Now you see me, now you don't. Okay.
There he is.
Everything okay with you, Lou?
Pardon?
We missed you yesterday.
Oh,
Lou?
yeah. What happened? I think I fell asleep.
Oh. Okay, let's
Yeah. I was sitting here waiting for you to come in, and I fell asleep.
okay. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Okay, let's continue. We'll give you a go today. That will make sure you don't fall asleep anyway. We were up to Pasuk Chof Aleph, 21. Parshas Toldos, chapter Chof Hey, Pasuk Chof Aleph. Okay. Yeah, Lou. Now you want to start?
Vayach Peru Be'er.
One second. Chapter 25, not 26.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, 25, 21. Right
Right at the beginning of the Parsha.
21. Vayetar?
Yeah.
Yitzchak Lashem Lenochach Esh Ishto Ki Akara Hi Vayeat Ser Lo Hashem Vatahar Rivka Ishto. Let's see, 21. Yitzchak entreated Hashem opposite his wife because she was barren. Hashem allowed himself to be entreated by him. And his wife, Rivka, conceived.
Right.
So Rashi says, Vayetar, Hirba v'hiftzir bisafila. He importuned much through prayer. I guess that means that he prayed really hard.
Yeah. I translated from more simpler. He prayed much and imploringly.
Much and what?
Imploringly.
Implored. He implored. Yeah, that's a better word. Implored.
Yeah. Yeah. And telling means he pleaded. Okay.
Avaye ser lo. Nitz patzer. He was prevailed upon. Venis payes and conciliated. Venis pata lo and persuaded by him. Vayomer ani. And I say,
basically what it means is he pleaded with Hashem, and Kodesh Baruch Hu acceded to his pleas. Right.
That sounds kind of like Hashem did so unwillingly. Like, okay, well, if you're going to pray so hard, I guess I'll give in and I'll say yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know if it's so much that. It's kind of Let me ask you, and this is actually a very major question in davening, in praying. Why do you need to pray twice? If you ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something, okay, so you've asked him for it. What is it help asking him in a second time?
I have a better question. Why do you need to pray once?
Correct. That's also a major question. What do you know? HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly what you want.
And what
Not
you
only
need.
that.
And Hashem gives you what you need.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows better what we need than we know ourselves.
And if we ask for something we don't need, Hashem's not going to give it to us.
Right? There's a very cute story by Shimshon Pincus. He was a major speaker. I once had a tape of his, and he said, there were two little girls playing with dolls. Yeah. And one of the kids' dolls broke. So one little girl says to the other, he says, wait, why did you pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he should fix your doll? So the little girl goes into the corner and she davens. About a minute later, whatever, after about a minute or so, comes out. So her friend says, no, did you daven to Hashem that she fix your doll? She said, yeah, I'm sure I did. And what did he say? So why didn't he fix your doll? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said no. Sometimes Hashem says no.
That's right.
We have to understand that. However, no prayer goes unanswered, which means HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and let me explain as follows. This is actually a major thesis, what we're touching on now. What do we need to pray for? So I had an interesting hora. I think I mentioned this in Parshas Nitzavim, because that's where it comes up there. What does it exactly mean to pray? I mean, we say to pray means when we ask for things, but we say the Hebrew term for praying is lehispalel. Right? So what do you, lehispalel, that's always hitpael is a reflexive form. You're doing something to yourself. So what are you doing to yourself by praying? So the root of the word lehispalel comes from falel. This is the Radak says this. Falel means to judge.
Ah.
We find a few times there are son biflilim in Parshas Mishpatim. The perpetrator has to pay with the judges. The judges. So there the Torah uses the word nasan biflilim. Similarly, in Parshas Hazin, we have Oyevenu Plilim, our enemies become our judges. Number of cases. So the Radak explains, Lehispalel means to have yourself judged. Meaning, in basic terms, when somebody's coming before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking for something, he's saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I feel I need this item, whatever I'm asking for. I feel I need this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you are the one who's going to decide, you're going to judge whether I'm deserving of this or I'm not deserving of this. And I'm giving over my request to you because you are the one who can decide. You are the Almighty, you are the all-powerful. You can decide exactly whether I'm deserving this or not. So when the person's praying to Hashem,
why do you say deserving?
Deserving means whether HaKadosh Baruch Hu will decide to give it to me or not.
But what does deserving have to do with anything? Hashem gives us what we need. It's not a matter of deserving. We don't deserve it.
Yeah, but if somebody who is, let's say, for whatever reason, Hashem decides this person has to suffer. So
is that
Hashem
because he deserves to suffer?
Yes.
No. Not necessarily.
There's no such thing as somebody suffering when he doesn't deserve to suffer.
A tzaddik can suffer for the generation, not because he deserves it.
Oh, so he's saying for him personally, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's up to Hashem's decision that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decided that this tzaddik will suffer. It may not be for his own sins, but it's up to Hashem's decision. There's nothing happens in this world without Hashem deciding it should be so.
But when Hashem makes a decision, it's not on a level of pettiness where he says, well, you've been a good boy, I'm going to give you a lollipop.
Excuse me, if a person's been a good boy, he will give him a reward. A good deed deserves a reward. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will decide whether, in this particular case, the person is deserving of it. Is he going to give it to him in this world, which is a very like paying off in a low-level payment, or is he going to keep his reward for the full reward for the next world? Or even if he gives it to him in his main reward will remain for the next world, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu will still give him reward in this world because it will be an incentive, more than incentive, it will be a means that he'll be able to do more mitzvahs in this world. Right? That's also part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's consideration of giving a person blessing in this world, that he'd be able to fulfill more mitzvahs. I mean, we can't go into HaKadosh Baruch Hu's, Gemara says, Bahadi Kavsha Drachman Elomali. We can't go into HaKadosh Baruch Hu's decision making, right? Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides one thing or another. Kele Muno Beinovel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a faithful God, and there's no injustice whatsoever with whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's got it all planned out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the global picture. There could be millions of factors which are involved in making a particular decision. Okay? But that's definitely, everything is with the cheshbon.
I would say that Hashem decides what is appropriate for you and gives you what's appropriate, not what you deserve.
So why is being appropriate not necessarily what you deserve?
Because it's not.
We look at it.
Can
I just make a point? We look at it in this worldly eyes, right? We see somebody who's a big tzaddik. He's a perfect person. He's good with everybody. He's good. Ben Adam Lamoka, Ben Adam Chabeiro, does whatever he's supposed to do, and yet he's very poor, or he suffers. He suffers a sickness or something, right? So you see, he's receiving something which he doesn't deserve. That's how you're telling me. That's not true. Because let me ask you, somebody who is working to be a world-class athlete, okay, he wants to break the 100 meters dash record, okay? So what does he do? Tell me he sits around most of the day sipping Coca-Cola? He works like a meshugana. He trains himself, he stretches himself to his absolute limit. Now, do you think, I mean, obviously we don't necessarily think, but if HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts a person, this tzaddik, to the test, should we say, and gives him suffering, right? It makes him suffer, that is necessarily something which he doesn't deserve. It's something which HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving to him to test him, because it's in this world. This world is the Olam Ha'asiyah. This is the world where we've got to achieve, not to receive our reward. It's not a place to sit back in our deck chairs and sip Coca-Cola. That's not the purpose of this world. The purpose of this world is achievement, to reach the highest level possible so that we can get the highest level in Olam Haba. So if you see a tzaddik suffer, it means HaKadosh Baruch Hu is putting him to the test. As you said, he's suffering not necessarily for his own misdeeds, but suffering for maybe the sins of his generation. Okay, it's all kinds of different considerations and calculations, which is way beyond us. But to say that everything it's not just appropriate, it's what he deserves, because if you, given like in my example of the guy, the athlete who's trying to break the 100-meter dash world record, right? So if you, let's say his trainer, he says to him, okay, listen, I don't want to work too hard for you, right? I'm only going to give you a challenge against 5-year-olds. You only have to race against 5-year-olds. Do you think the athlete's going to be happy? No, because he said that's not a challenge for him. He wants to have a challenge, because the only way he's going to reach his goal of beating the world record is if he's challenged to the utmost.
When the coach gives him the challenge that's appropriate to him, it's
right.
not because he deserves it. It's
okay,
because
so
it's
you want to
appropriate.
change the wording. So let's rephrase what we're saying here is that whatever we're given in this world is not necessarily what we deserve, but what's appropriate for us in this world.
That's right.
Okay, I am willing to reword what I said before. Anyway, so therefore, when we daven, going back to davening, right? When we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something, right? We are asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says, I have a request, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I feel I need this particular thing which I'm asking for. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want you to judge me whether it's appropriate that I should have what I'm asking for. And that is the essence of really what we are, of davening. In other words, we're not coming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with anything new. If as soon as, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what we're coming to ask for, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu can read our thoughts, even if we don't say the words. So by actually saying the words, by praying, we're not adding anything. But the point is, we are doing something to ourselves, right? We are putting ourselves, in other words, we are internalizing, shall we say, by asking Hashem for it, we're internalizing that the decision whether we're going to be appropriated what we're asking for is up to Hashem and not up to ourselves. Totally up to Hashem. And sometimes in this should we say, system, Kosh Baruch Hu will have a person not just ask once for it, but have to ask him a number of times and plead with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Your person should think, well, listen, I asked for it once, so Hashem didn't answer me in the positive. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to give it to me? No. That is the Chiddush over here. We find with Yitzchak. We also find that with Moshe Rabbeinu, who davened 515 tefillas in order to go into Eretz Yisrael, that there's this concept of even Hashem hasn't answered us once, we can keep on asking and keep on asking. Mm-hmm. But as long as with the obviously the understanding, it's not by nudging that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to answer us. It's every time we ask, we're a different person. We are bringing ourselves that much closer to Hashem. It's with a new connection to Hashem. Whereas if a person doesn't feel any closer to Hashem the second time than the first time, then there is not much point in asking for it again. It has to be that with the second asking, he's feeling that much closer to Hashem. I mean, with Moshe Rabbeinu, for instance, when he asked 515 times to go to Eretz Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to tell him, stop! Because if you ask any more, I won't be able to refuse you. Because that means that Moshe Rabbeinu had reached such a level of closeness to Hashem. Had he prayed once more, he would be so close to Hashem, Hashem would not have been able to refuse his request. So every time we ask for something, it's not it's going to change Hashem's mind. it's changing us. In other words, the Yitzchak, when he asked the first time, was not the same Yitzchak. Sorry, when he asked the second time, was not the same Yitzchak as when he asked the first time, etc., etc. He was on a closer level to Hashem because he was pleading with Hashem, and he felt that Hashem is the only source for providing what he's asking for. He got that extra level of closeness to Hashem with the second time, and so with the third time, etc., etc. By the way, it doesn't say how many times he prayed over here. It says, just says Vayeta. No, it's mashma. Hiruba v'hiftzir b'tfilah. It's mashma. He prayed a number of times. Don't know. Okay. Let's continue.
Vayomer ani, I say, kol lashon eter, any form of the root eter, lashon haftzara, the
Ribui.
Sorry, I lost my place. The ribui, who? It's an expression of beseeching and increasing. V'chein va'atzar anan haketores. Similarly, va'atzar of the cloud of incense means marbis alias ha'ashan, the profusion of the rising of the smoke. V'chein v'hatartem alai divreichem. Similarly, divreichem v'hatartem. Similarly, you multiplied your words upon me.
Yeah, but more in a sense of burdensome. Yeah. Yeah, you have multiplied your words against me.
V'chein,
it's used in the sense of being in a burdensome way. Okay, also the next case. And
v'nataros neshikos son'e v'nataros, and excessive are the kisses of an enemy, which means domos lima rubos. They seem like many. V'hinas l'masa.
Hinam l'masa.
V'hinam l'masa. And they are a burden. French, aggressor.
Aggressor. Yeah.
V'nochach ishto ze omeid b'zaris.
Zavis.
B'zavis zo. This one stood in this corner. Umispalel, and prayed. V'zo omedes v'zavis zo. And this one stood in that corner. Umispalelis, and prayed.
By the way, the Mefarshim explain over here. Just have to check it up over here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's interesting. I don't mention in my note over here, but the Mefarshim explained that they weren't at 180 degrees, one opposite the other. Because l'chora, they both of them prayed towards Yerushalayim. But each one took a corner, in other words. So let's say this is the wall facing Yerushalayim, so one took one corner over here, and one took the corner over here. Okay? So therefore they prayed in two separate corners. That's what
But
Rashi learns.
not opposite corners.
Right. Okay? Vaye'oseh loi.
Lo law, but not by her.
Not to her. In other words, Hakadosh Baruch Hu acceded to Yitzchak's prayers, but not to
Rivka's.
not to Rivka's.
She'ein domeh tefilas tzaddik ben Rasha, for the prayer of a righteous person.
I think you skipped out a few words. She'ein domeh tfilas tzaddik ben tzaddik with tfilas tzaddik ben Rasha.
No, we have it backwards.
Oh, you have it backwards.
I didn't skip any words. Those words come later.
I see.
According to my translation, for the prayer of a righteous person who is the child of a wicked person is not comparable lisefilas tzaddik ben tzaddik, to the prayer of a righteous person who is the child of a righteous person. Therefore, lo, by him, below la, but not by her.
Ah.
He listened to her. He responded to Yitzchak's prayer, not to hers.
So why can't Hashem listen to both of them?
No, but the Yitzchak's prayer was greater. That Yitzchak's prayer had a greater weight to it, had greater power to it than Rivka's prayer, because Yitzchak was not just his own power of prayer; it was connected also with his father's. Whereas, Yitzchak was invoking the merits of Avram, his father, which Rivka was not able to. She only had her own merits, but not the merits of her father.
Mm.
Okay? I think it's for today. Very good. Yishakach.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, you too, Rabbi.